This 2016 Ford Explorer has a really stinking problem. It stinks really bad. Let's find out why. Let's get started. So the customer actually brought this in. It just came in today. Like I said, it's a 2016 Ford Explorer with the 3.5 naturally aspirated V6. It's not the EcoBoost. Their complaint is that maybe the transmission mount or motor mounts are broken or something, because it's possible it cracked the exhaust. They're smelling really strong exhaust while they're driving. It's actually kind of dangerous. It's so strong. They want us to check over the exhaust. They've actually had it to 2 or 3 other shops to check out for exhaust leaks, and they come up empty-handed. They're like, we checked it over, we don't find anything, we don't even know what's going on or why. We can't help you, basically. So she's still driving along, inhaling exhaust fumes, and she's like, fine, I'm going to take this to Omega. I need to get this figured out. I could possibly get carbon monoxide poisoning or something bad. I can't keep doing this. So let's go ahead and take a look around this thing, and we'll get it up in the air. We'll check for exhaust cracks or any kind of leaks, and then towards the end we'll talk about what possibly else it could be. So here's the front of this Ford Explorer 2016, and I really like this color, Mrs. Wizard. It's like a crimson or something.
I'd say spiced cranberry.
Spiced cranberry?
Sure, I don't think they actually call it that color, but I like that name.
Okay, as we go along to the side, you see it has some chrome 5-spoke wheels, and they're in pretty good shape here. As we go along the sides, I don't see any damage or scratches or anything really bad going on. And around the back, you can see it has a lot of the insignia and things are blacked out. I don't know if that's original to the trim level or if it's been modified for that, but it very likely could be stock. We do see an American flag emblem on both rear quarter windows, and the rest of the car is in really good shape. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. Here is our 3.5 liter V6 non-turbo. One of the things I was checking is right here at this exhaust manifold. You can see there's an oxygen sensor. It could be possibly that's broken or cracked. I didn't find anything there. The catalytic converter is right below it. I don't really see anything going on there. But you can see this engine would be pretty easy to work on. There's all the belts and everything right on the front. It's not too close to where you can't get to it, so it wouldn't be too bad. And the exhaust around the back, we really can't see much there. We'll have to raise it up and take a look. But I did check the front. I didn't see much going on there. So let's go ahead and get this thing up in the air. Let's go ahead and start our quick inspection, focusing on the exhaust, but we'll also check the rest, like she mentioned, motor mounts and things. So let's go ahead and take a look. I don't see anything leaking from the radiator, anything going on there. Here's our exhaust, at least the bottom, the catalytic converter. It doesn't look like any bolts are broken. The oxygen sensor is intact, nothing going on there. Here is a mount here. It doesn't appear to be torn or anything. It's actually in pretty good shape. The rubber is not, actually it's not torn at all. Good shape there. No leaks going on here in the oil pan. The exhaust is not damaged. It's possible sometimes someone could hit something and crack it or break it open, but nothing appears to be damaged there. As you come to this little Y pipe, we don't see any damage there either. We can look straight up into the rear catalytic converter. Nothing appears damaged or be leaking or anything. I don't see anything right offhand that's going to cause any kind of a leak. Go ahead and check our brakes and CV shafts, everything. Strut's good. Everything good's there. Everything looks good here as well. Nothing loose. Here's something that can also cause exhaust smell, which is a flex joint. These flex back and forth over time, and they can actually crack and break. But again, it doesn't appear, it's very visible when you can see cracks or breaks in these. You'll see exhaust coming out like black soot. You can also visibly see it's opened up. This one appears to be in good shape. I don't see any issues there. We go back to, here's a resonator type muffler. All the clamps are intact. Everything's good there. Drive shaft is good. Come back to the fuel tank area. There's more our exhaust pipe going out the back. It actually goes into a Y pipe right here. And again, looking at this entire exhaust system, I don't see, as the other shops have found, there's no damage, there's no cracks, there's no breaks. The mufflers are original, they're not modified or anything like that. All the hangers are in place. I really don't see anything that could be leaking on the exhaust system other than, obviously, the tips. So, I'll do one check of the back wheels while we're here. Brake pads are good, shocks are good, sway bar links are good. Nothing loose, CV boots are good. CV boots are good there. Nothing loose. Shock is good. Sway bar link is good. Well, I didn't find anything there. Let's go ahead and get this thing back on the ground. So we're not really finding anything yet, and it's possible this could get very expensive. There are situations where things can get so expensive, people actually have to go deep in debt to get their car fixed. You know, talking about how expensive car repairs are today and how they can almost ruin your wallet. It reminds me of a time that I got into a bit of money trouble when I was in the Army, actually. I was just out of high school, I was making some good money, but I didn't have any real guidance on how I should manage it, and guess what? Yep, I spent it all a little too lavishly. I had a new truck, all sorts of fun toys. It also came with some debt and almost didn't allow me to actually leave the Army. Back then, you couldn't discharge from the Army if you were in debt, and my 3 years were almost up. I was beyond stressed out. I was ready to start a new civilian life, so I sold the truck, I put all my paychecks to the loans, I even borrowed some money from my parents. It'd been nice to have some help navigating through that mess. Thanks to PDS Debt, there is a way out. I know you're thinking, a company to help me get out of debt? Really? PDS Debt is a top-rated company on Google, and they have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. PDS Debt can give you options to consolidate all of those debts into one low monthly payment. If you find that you have too much debt on credit cards, personal loans, in collections, or medical bills, they can help with that. If you have over $10,000 in eligible debts, you qualify. There's no minimum credit score required. Bad and fair scores are accepted. PDS Debt is offering a free debt analysis. It only takes 30 seconds. Head on over to pdsdebt.com/carwizard to get your free debt assessment today. That link is in the description below as well. Save thousands in interest and fees, pay off your debt in a fraction of the time, and work to get yourself back on solid financial ground. Now back to this Explorer. I know what you're thinking, another ad in CarWizard's video, but yes, that's actually a very good ad. I have seen customers' lives absolutely destroyed by debt with car repairs, so it's actually a very good ad. Now, what did we find out on this Ford Explorer? We checked the exhaust out, we checked everything out as far as where there could be leaks coming from, the flex pipe, the solid pipe, catalytic converters. We really didn't find anything. We've actually smoke tested the exhaust system. It came up with nothing. I can see where other shops said, we don't see anything, you know, kick it out the door. There's nothing going on here. But there is something going on here. I went and road tested the vehicle, and there's a dangerous amount of exhaust getting into the cabin. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just constantly rolling into the cabin. It could cause someone to pass out and crash. It has to be fixed. So I went to Identifix. Let me show you what I printed off. I use Identifix a lot, and no, I'm not doing an ad for Identifix. I'm telling you guys, it is extremely powerful. It monitors pattern failures. It's a database of what customers have found wrong over hundreds or thousands of shops across the entire country. I typed in cabin smell, exhaust smell. It's actually a Ford technical service bulletin about it. Exhaust odor in the vehicle for 2016 and 17 Explorers. Oh, guess what? That's what we got here. There may be pronounced after hard acceleration, driving in hilly conditions, and they're smelling an exhaust odor. Smells like sulfur, it says. Some of the things it says to check, it started showing pictures of the rear hatch area. And I thought, that actually has nothing to do with the exhaust system being damaged or cracked or broken. Let me go check out this vehicle and see what's going on. Possibly at the hatch there could be something wrong. So as we did our walk around a minute ago, you really didn't see anything wrong. You weren't looking or focusing, and I wasn't either until I read that information from Identifix. And I came over and I walked up to the vehicle. I immediately saw Look how far that's sticking out. Now let's go check the other side on the passenger side. It's actually sunken in. The body is sticking out past the tailgate. The entire tailgate is tweaked or bent. I don't know if they've been impacted by another car or somebody closed the shell down on, hopefully not a little kid, or luggage or something. It's really bent really bad. Let's go ahead and open it and take a look. So it opened fine. It doesn't seem to have any issues opening and closing. There's nothing right offhand that you would see going on there. And then the hinges don't look bad either. They appear to be at least in decent shape. If they're bent, it's such a small amount, but it doesn't take much to affect the entire door. It could be the entire framework of this entire hatch door is bent so bad. What needs to happen when one of these closes is there's a soft seal all the way around. It needs to close uniformly over all of that in order to seal, guess what? An exhaust leak out of the exhaust tips like it's supposed to. The problem is it's getting into the car. We all have heard of what's called the station wagon effect. You roll down, just crack your back window on a station wagon just a little bit, or a K5 Blazer, or any kind of vehicle that has that. And what do you smell? You're choked on exhaust fumes. That's exactly what's going on here. There was one more test that I wanted to do to show you guys. It is definitely the problem. I'm going to get my smoke machine out and have Mrs. Wizard show you guys without any force, without any forceful air, smoke just happily drifts right through the seal with the hatch closed. Let's get this thing closed up. So I've got my handy dandy smoke machine hooked to an auxiliary battery and shop air hooked to it. All I'm going to do is just put this hose, not poke it into the seal, but just kind of wedge it in the body right here where it's bent and let it fill that entire crevice with smoke. It should not get into the interior. It shouldn't. All right. Obviously to the outside you're going to see a lot of smoke coming out. Obviously that's fine, but we should not see it on the inside. Let's get it started here. Starting to build up some smoke fumes there. Filling up all around that seal that should be sealing. That looks cool, Mrs. Wizard.
That is fun.
Wow.
It's kind of like Halloween.
It is. Well, let's go into the inside and see what we see.
Oh no, Wizard. It's coming in.
You see any smoke in there, Mrs. Wizard?
Yeah, it's kind of pouring in now. Oh, wow.
Let me take a look from this side over here. Oh my goodness. And you're going 70 miles an hour down the road. It's literally just going to force right through there. It's not sealing at all. Again, I'm not forcing this through the seal. It's just filling the crevice up. And it drifts easily and happily right through past the seal because it's not even touching. I actually got my Techlong camera out and ran it along here, and you can see that the seal is hovering. Where it should be sealing, there's a huge gap. So that tells me this entire hatch has been crushed or bent or something's wrong. So you're going down the road, you're cruising, and the station wagon effect is going, and the exhaust out of the tip, it's coming out of the tip like it's supposed to, and it should go away, but it's not. It's going right inside the vehicle and sending choking fumes, kind of like that. Ugh. It's sending choking fumes into the cabin. Why couldn't the other shops find that? You just look it up on Dynafix, you run the test, you look it up, we found the data. In 10 minutes I figured out what was wrong. Let's take one last look inside the cabin and see how bad it is. Look at that, guys. It's just continually filling. I'm going to stop there. I don't want to fill their whole cabin up with smoke. There's no smell. It doesn't have any smell, so we're not worried about that. But now we know. So now we have the answer for the customer. We love getting the answers here, especially when 3 other shops have thrown their hands up. I really enjoy those victories. They're really, really cool. Unfortunately, that's not something we fix here. The TSB talks about checking the gasket around there, make sure it's not torn, make sure there's no tears going on through any seals or body plugs or anything like that. I didn't even need to go that deep. We found what it was really quickly. It's literally pouring exhaust smoke into the cabin. It's such a problem, they actually have a service bulletin out just for this issue. But this, what happened here, I don't even think it's part of the service bulletin. You can see, you visually saw, something has happened here. Something has literally bent the hell out of the entire tailgate. I don't have the tooling or body shop tools to start. I'm not going to go start prying and bending people's tailgates. It's going to need to go to a body shop. They may need to replace the entire tailgate. They may need to maybe do some adjustments. I don't know. We don't deal with sheet metal and body work here. But now the customer has the answer that they were so eagerly seeking. It's the tailgate is bent. That's it. The exhaust is fine, the motor mounts are fine, the transmission mounts are fine. Just the tailgate needs to be fixed. What's it going to cost to get the problem fixed? I don't know. I'm not a body shop again. It could be a few $100. It could be over $1,000 or $2,000. I don't know. But it definitely needs to get fixed because that's dangerous. It's getting exhaust into the cabin. That's really, really bad. Maybe someone might be thinking put a thicker seal or put a different seal around it. I don't want to do that because obviously something's wrong. It could have future problems down the road and then cause someone to fall asleep behind the wheel. It needs to be fixed properly. Thanks again to PDS Debt for offering some solutions to sometimes when you get into this type of an issue and you need to go in debt. Sometimes people are so far in debt, they're like, I don't know what to do. And they can probably help you. Again, the link is in the description below. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to work on any cars in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut if you purchase anything and we really appreciate it. The smoke machine is there and also all the other tools that we use. Check out Mrs. Wizard's Way. She's got all kinds of really sweet videos there. Go check out what she's got and subscribe there. And also hit the subscribe button here because there's so many more videos coming. Thanks for watching.